Hi, everybody. Adam from the podcast here with a quick little announcement before we get into the episode. Before the pandemic, I recorded a stand-up comedy micro special titled Egghead, where I basically did 20 minutes of material about Cadbury cream eggs and other adjacent Easter candies. It's been behind a paywall, and for Easter this year, my label, Stand Up Records, has decided to release it for free on YouTube, so now everybody can see it on the house. I'm going to include a link in the episode description on your podcast app, but you can also go into your YouTube app or in your browser and just type Adam, my last name Quennell, Quesnell, Egghead, and that'll get you to the video. And hey, while you're there, why don't you throw a subscription to Stand Up Records? They have a lot of other fantastic artists on there that you should check out. Well, without further ado, here is Al and I discussing Star Trek The Next Generation, Contagion. Welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek The Next Generation recap and rewatch podcast. As usual, I am Adam Ordahl Quennell, and I'm here with my San Diegan co-host.
Hey, what's up? It's Al Hirt.
Did you forget for a second what you go by? It looked like you were like rubbing your eye for a second.
Say, like, hey, and then hey yo.
Were you gonna try out another? You're like
together.
You're like, maybe I'll try
like,
maybe I'll try a new greeting today, just out of the blue. Just fucking give it a shot. Yeah, every week we talk about an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. We have a lot of fun. We used to do it in the Valley. That's the name. I still live in the Valley, and I will forever. Because we have a rent-controlled apartment, and they will drag my fucking corpse out of here. Like, the legal proceedings that they're going to need to do to ever get us out of this apartment is going to be fucking bananas. So, yeah, every week we talk about Star Trek, but you know that. This is episode 150 fucking whatever. This is episode 157.
7, wow.
150, yeah, it's the 7 that gets it because it's an odd number. But yeah, so like last week we talked about fucking the Dauphine. Remember the Dauphine? This isn't the official segment or anything.
Young leader that was, what's it called? It kind of reminded me of like Animorphs or something like that.
It reminded you? Oh yes, they were like Animorphs. Did you see that Animorphs is getting a TV series on Disney Plus?
I did see that actually.
But here's the thing. It's produced by Ryan Coogler's fucking company.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really good. And that means that opens the door because Ryan Coogler also is doing a pilot for the new X-Files at Fox.
Ooh.
So we could finally get the X-Files Animorphs crossover that we've all wanted for our whole lives. Like you stayed up at night as a kid. You're like, oh, what if Scully saw a kid turn into a rhinoceros? And then she was like, what? And like she like rubs her eyes like she forgot what name she goes by on the podcast. She's like, oh god. Yeah, so good.
Hey, I was just thinking about a different intro, that's all.
No, I was kidding. I knew that you knew you're Al Hirt. Jesus, I get it. So how have you been, Al?
Good. Just chilling.
Yeah, we
did. I mean, nothing much has changed.
Yeah, we did record last week. It might as well be a double recording where we recorded them back to back because so little has changed. I guess my wife went on vacation with her mom for like 4 days this week, so I kind of had the apartment to myself. But
nice.
I was just going to bed early like a badass. Well, fuck it, dude. Let's get into the first official segment of the show.
Cool. What does Al remember?
Al, what do you remember about Star Trek the Animated Series, Season 1, Episode 5, More Trouble, More Tribbles?
this was like a rehash, right?
It
Of,
was
like,
definitely
the
a
Tribble
revisiting.
episode.
It was definitely a Saturday morning cartoon take on what
they
was
also-
already the goofiness of the Tribbles.
Right, but our favorite part was how they added more lore to
Yeah,
the
dude.
Tribbles and how like there was creatures now that could eat the Tribbles.
What was that's a big what does Al
And that was
remember?
the issue.
What was the creature's name that could eat the Tribbles? What was the Tribbles' natural predator?
I totally forgot.
The Glommer. I can't believe you didn't. I
Glommers.
can't believe you. How could you forget the Glommer, dude? And the Glommer would eat the Tribble by like putting its little tripod legs over
Yeah,
it and then like
and it, like,
squatting
dips
down on
down.
it. Ugh, disgusting.
Yeah, it was like a weird spider.
So how is this different from the original Tribbles? What other lore did they add, Al? Since you know
I
so
think they
goddamn
added,
much.
Pregnant Tribbles, right?
Well, so that's just it. They're not pregnant Tribbles. They don't know originally. They look like big, just large Tribbles.
Yes, that's right. And
But
then one
then-
of them explodes.
They do something like they shoot them or something. I can't remember why they
They, like-
explode.
No, it's because they reach like a certain mass and they explode on the bridge, and that's how they find out that there's more Tribbles
Oh,
in the
maybe,
Tribble.
maybe.
Yeah, that was so strange. And then didn't
quite
they have
strange.
like a bunch of grain on the
Yeah,
on the
of course.
deck again? And
They always have the
everything, like,
trick. They always have the triddle tickle haley grain. The
But
triddle
then,
trickle and tainted.
we caught Cyrano Jones too, those
Oh,
scamming people
yeah.
at the beginning.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Those rock people.
Yep, Cyrano Jones. He was like he was scamming minors or something. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
not minors like children?
No.
But yeah, he was
People working
scamming. He was scamming people
caves.
working in caves. Wait, was that this episode?
No, actually, that was that
That's
was
Harry
another one.
Mudd. That's Harry
That is
Mudd,
Harry
not
Mudd.
Cyrano Jones, dude. You almost
God,
got
dude,
my
they
ass.
both.
Yeah, because remember Harry Mudd was like promising wives to minors or
Yeah,
some
and
shit.
then they somehow use that
Hey,
cream
that-
ends up fucking up the Enterprise crew.
Hey, that's
and
for a
they all end up
different
falling in
episode.
love. But yeah,
That's a different What Does Al Remember? Good job. Bonus What Does Al Remember? So
but Tribbles. How
so
did
what
they...
other let me lay it on you. What other
Oh.
alien race is involved?
Yeah, actually, that's what I was going to bring up. I remember how they get rid of them. They transport the mothers onto the Romulan ships.
Yes, I thought you were going to
And
say
the Romulans
Klingons.
were like, no.
But you got it, Romulans, and then they like shoot the Romulans, shoot them, and the thing explodes.
Mhm.
And the Glommer is like, I can't eat all these fucking Tribbles. Ew, I'm
Yeah,
the
I guess-
Glommer.
There wasn't too many Glommers.
There was just the
I don't
one
know, It was a
Glommer.
weird episode.
The Glommer was like overwhelmed. He saw the big Tribble and he was like,
He
that's
couldn't
too
eat it."
much for me, bro. Well, hey, so good job.
What
That's
does
what Al remembered. Which brings us to the meat of today's episode 157 of this glorious trek in the valley. We're discussing season 2, episode 11 of Star Trek to Next Generation. And this episode is titled Contagion, which is interesting for various
Yes.
reasons that we'll get into. It was written by Steve Gerber, baby, and Beth Woods. It's a lady. Actually, the way the writers go on this is probably a guy named Beth Woods, like Tracy Torme is a man. You fucking tricked me into thinking there was diversity here. Mel Torme's son. And it was directed by Joseph L. Scanlon, who, as I recall, has directed some bangers. And the air date for this episode is March 20th, 1989. And the Paramount Plus synopsis is: the Enterprise's computer system falls prey to a mysterious electronic virus which programs the ship to self-destruct. Another one of them big spoiler synopses.
Yep.
Our
It's
synopsis.
a little bit of it.
Yeah, like
I guess it's like at this point they should just write how they resolve the issue and just move on.
well, yeah. I mean, I think I guess
Like that's all that's missing.
And so this episode opens with the Captain Varley of the Yamato has asked, and the Yamato, what's the Yamato, Al?
It's the sister ship to the Enterprise, the USS Yamato.
It's the other Galaxy class. It's like the second flagship, basically. He asked Picard to meet him, but what the fuck? What's going on? Where does he ask him to meet him? This can't be right. My notes can't be correct.
The neutral zone.
What?
Deep in the neutral zone.
What? Deep in the NZ? Why would they? What would possibly cause this Varley guy to do something so dangerous? So apparently, this Varley fellow is first off African American captain, so that's cool. He does explode almost immediately, just like at the beginning of Jurassic Park when the guy of color is killed by the raptor. Now his ship was in danger of malfunctioning, and he worries that it may affect the Enterprise as well. And while they're on the way, they're downloading the Yamato's logs. That's a big, important part of it, right? Now, Riker talks about some weird readings, and they go away. That can't be related to the logs we're downloading. Now, Varley, when they get there, is all business. Their ship is plagued by malfunctions. A computer shut down a force field that killed 18 people in an engineering team. And then
they're just trying to figure out what's going on.
It's just like the ship is just like the systems are just decaying and going crazy. But what does Varley think might be going on? It kind of sends them down not the wrong path, but a less than fruitful path.
Doesn't he say it's like from some planet that they need to get to that's deeper in the or the neutral zone?
No. But so he says he's worried that it's a design flaw in the Galaxy class ships. And Picard is like, Geordi, is that even possible? And Geordi's like, well, it's the most complex piece of engineering ever built. So yeah, it's possible something got overlooked. And so now then the Yamato's having an energy buildup. Oh no, it's gonna blow. The magnetic seals on the antimatter chamber are decaying. That seems bad. And then the ship explodes real good, right? And it's like a remastered explosion where a big chunk of the ship bangs into the Enterprise. And everyone's like, and one thing I noticed about this that I don't know if maybe I'm just noticing it more in this episode because of how it's mixed or something, but the synth track is fucking awesome on this. Like there's a synth sting after they say no life readings for the crew of the Yamato. And that's they mention it later that's 1,000 people. It's the Yamato's crew and their families. Like that's the other thing. Like with the old school Enterprise, it was just the crew, but this is the crew and their families. What happens after the Yamato explodies?
They panic and they follow they follow the captain's advice because I mean, as I was mentioning before, he said that it's from the Iconians and that like their planet's deeper into the neutral zone. And so he wanted to figure out some like weird archaeological find. Like
good
Jones
job
kind of vibe.
Good job bringing that up, because the reason Varley is in the fucking neutral zone with all these with this potential design flaw is because there was rumors regarding the Iconians, which are supposedly a legendary race of great engineers. But he found their home planet in the neutral zone. And Picard's like, what the fuck, dude? I'm a nerd, but you're that big of a nerd that you're going to risk a war with the Romulans? And he's like, well, that's the point. Like, what if the Romulans got this Iconian technology? And
yeah, that's like the whole poll.
It's like, come on, dude.
Them have it.
Cold War bullshit. Then the Yamato has the energy buildup. Shit explodes. No life readings. Who shows up on the scene next?
The Romulans.
The Romulans! Oh no, that's the last people you want to see in the neutral zone. God damn. Now, one thing they said, if the doors are closed, the backwash from the probes will destroy everything. That's something that they say backwash instead of backdraft. But yeah, so the Romulans show up and the Romulans are like, what the fuck are you doing in the neutral zone? Picard's like, what the fuck are you doing in the neutral zone? Yeah. And then she's like, what are you doing in the neutral zone? He's like, I asked you what you're fucking doing in the neutral zone. And then she's like, get the fuck out of here. And he's like, I'm going to make sure that you didn't destroy the Yamato, and I'm not leaving until that fucking happens. And that's actually the beginning of Act 1. So we've got them going back and forth with, you explain why you're here, I'll explain, you explain why you're here. Now Worf immediately wants to racistly blame the Romulans for destroying the Yamato, and Picard is like, well, we don't know anything about it, we don't know what's going on yet. And then Riker says, hey, when the Romulans cloak and disappear, Riker's like, hey, at least they can't fire when they're cloaked. And Worf also racistly is like, what if they figured that out and they're sneaking up on us and they got secret racism powers? So I found this funny, that Picard tells the Romulans, go fuck yourself, I'm going to do this investigation, we'll leave when we know you didn't destroy our sister ship. And then he turns to everybody and he says, I want answers, not conjecture, Picard says. And he says, and I want them at a staff meeting in 1 hour. So and then like they're in this like Cold War standoff with the Romulans, and they've got an hour to like put a binder together for this meeting. Like, imagine you're like, oh god, you're Geordi, and you're like, god damn it, I gotta figure this shit out in an hour.
But it's always on the engineer, to figure all this shit out, I feel.
Well, particularly
like, Scotty, what's going on?
Particularly
Jordy, what's going on?
Particularly when the mystery is, why does ship explode? Like when the mystery is, why does ship done explode? Like, that really falls on the engineer to figure it out, because they're the ship exploding experts. And this is when Geordi explains that, look, something nearly impossible happened. It was like a bunch of systems failed at once. They went into an antimatter dump. An antimatter dump started to dump and then it stopped. And it's not supposed to dump and stop. It's like when you're trying to dump and then you stop and it's hard to start dumping again. And then it exploded. So there's no evidence that a weapon was used. And Geordi's like, Varley might be right, man. It might be a design flaw. And Troy, who always can feel everything in the immediate 100,000 kilometers around the Enterprise, she says, now that we know it wasn't the Romulans, shouldn't we withdraw? And Picard is like, we got to give Geordi some time to figure shit out, because he's like, what if Varley was right? He's like, what if Varley was right? And basically he's going through Varley's logs, and it turns out that Varley had like a galactic Rosetta Stone that he found. And he does it's one of those times when you watch their logs, it's so funny. I was listening to another podcast where they were talking about a movie that did this very similar thing, but it's like you see a progression in the video logs he gets more and more into his obsession and figuring out what happened with the Iconians. But he is in, there's such a weird sequence of playing those personal logs, I thought. And then his ship failures keep him from studying Iconia. Like, oh, what? Now, there's also, we're starting to see little seeds of something might be going on the Enterprise. Al, what is did you catch the little clue in this episode as Picard exits his office?
No, actually, I'm like a little behind you. I was still hung up on the logs.
Oh yeah, so you're watching him do the logs right now? You're watching Varley get progressively more obsessed with solving the Iconian riddles.
I just noticed. Yeah, I just caught up. He tries to, Picard tries to leave his office, and then he kind of hesitates.
There's a
how,
slight
when
delay.
You open a door,
There's a slight delay in the door opening, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Yes.
And that's the thing. The Enterprise, these ships run so well and so effectively that should be a massive red flag for him. Oh, well, this door has literally never done this. Okay. And then they send a probe that had scanned a probe had scanned the Yamato, and we get this HD remastered probe that looks like a planet. And then searching this planet would put them too close to the Romulan side of the neutral zone. Do they risk war, or perhaps to prevent one. Bam, boom, bam, boom, bam.
How does Geordi feel? Oh, yeah, that's right. So then they're reading the Yamato logs, or they figure out that like they got probed right before the malfunctions began,
Yes.
or went to the extreme.
A probe
And
scanned the
Geordi-
Yamato.
There's a really cool sequence of Geordi running to the bridge, and like he gets stuck on the turbo lift and flips around.
Because the planet hath launched a probe at the Enterprise,
The Iconian
and they're gonna
planet.
and they're gonna blow it up, right? But Geordi's like, no, you don't want to do this. Don't blow it up.
Oh no, he's saying to blow it up. Because
he's saying
the
to
probe
blow it up.
scans the ship, and it fucks it accelerates the code.
So we're not.
the virus.
We're not there yet. So because we get to the beginning of Act 2, and Wesley is there talking about like, weren't the Iconians a myth? And they're like, so is China, you fucking idiot. And now it's like, and now everybody knows China's a real fucking place, you stupid moron, and your dumb horizontal striped sweater.
Didn't we miss another moment too, or is it brought
Probably.
up here where he's like, how do you guys deal with all these people dying? Isn't it terrible?
Oh, yeah, we're getting to
Picard's
that.
like,
Yes.
it never gets easier.
Yeah, we're getting to that. So basically, there's several cultures in this section that have had similar shit going on, and there's something in common, and they're saying that they were probably conquered by the Iconians, right? And they suspect that somehow the Iconians traveled without spaceships, which is important, right? And then they mention the all science is magic to a dumb fuck kind of thing. Like if anybody who's too stupid to understand your science.
It was like if they transported to a random planet, they would look like magicians too, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Now, this is where Wesley mentions that he's kind of freaked out from watching the Yamato explode and everyone died instantly. He's like, yeah, watching 1,000 people get sucked beyond the veil of life in a shot, it shook me up a little bit. I'm Wesley. I'm a little baby anyway, and the old heads don't get shook as easily.
I like this sentiment though, because it's kind of like, what's her name? How the 10 forward lady convinced Guinan. How Guinan explained to Wesley like how it is. It's like shit still hurts, things still suck, but we just kind of like move on and just take it in the chin,
Picard says, Wesley says, I don't know how you handle it so easily. And Picard says, oh no, easily. Oh no, not easily. We handle it because we are trained to. And then he says, Earl Grey hot. And if ever comes a time when the death of a single individual fails to move us, he does a good quote about how, we've lost our humanity. We've lost our federation-ness if even one person dying doesn't make us sad little babies. And, more weird malfunctions. That's weird. More malfunctions.
Yeah, it's instead of the Earl Grey tea, he gets like some weird flower in his cup.
Yeah, and the reason I jumped out and said, no, we're not talking about the probe yet, because Picard specifically says we didn't get probed. Like, they know from the logs that the Ionians did probe the Yamato. But we're not. No, that's fine. I get it. I'm excited to talk about Geordi running through the ship and the turbo lift doesn't work or whatever. So Picard is like, we didn't get probed. What the fuck is going on? Geordi says, I don't think it's a design flaw. I think the probe did it. And I don't understand why it's taking them so long to get like, because computer viruses existed in 1989 when they made this. So you'd think that they would have figured out, well, we downloaded the logs from the Yamato. And so and then the door, I was like, we downloaded the logs, and then, there's a little delay on this door opening. Oh, that's all the information I need. So they get to Ionia and they scan it, and it turns out that the planet was destroyed via orbital bombardment 200,000 years ago. What the fuck? That's so long. Huh. That's like before humans were even in space. These people were getting destroyed via orbital bombardment 200,000 years ago. Wow. Now, there is an energy source in the mountains. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? And then, a probe ejects from the planet. and starts zooming up towards the Enterprise. And this is when Geordi discovers something, and Picard reaches out to Geordi and said, "Hey, Geordi, I'm gonna need your help with this research to capture the probe." And he's like, "Oh, so shit, funny, we don't want to capture the probe." And so he has to run, and then all these malfunctions are like stopping him. It's like the ship is stopping him from.
Yeah, it's hilarious because he tries to just contact him with the intercom. Because it's like, duh, that's what you use first.
Well, yeah, his little badge.
Then he freaks out, and then he runs down, tries to use a comm badge. That doesn't work. He runs through the hallway, goes to the turbo lift. That almost murders him.
Oh, dude, they should make
him, like, do a front flip outside of the turbo lift into the bridge. And
they could totally.
Like, oh my god.
They could totally make a possessed turbo. They could totally make a possessed turbo lift ride at like the Paramount Plus amusement park.
Yeah.
And yes, Geordi doing the stuntman role out of the thing is pretty fucking great. He's like, "No!" And Geordi says that if that shit had scanned them, so Geordi says, "Yes, destroy the probe. Don't let it scan us. Don't save it." And because they were gonna capture it.
Immediately trust him though. It's so,
of course.
Like,
well, no, he's the chief engineer. And then he says, if that would have scanned them, they never would have saved the ship. The probe was a computer virus that was trying to fuck with the Enterprise. They got it from the Yamato logs. Now, Geordi says 90% of this ship is automated, and this virus could make it explode at any second or never. And isn't that always nice?
Yeah,
that's kind of like
just like, how much time do we have? I don't know. It depends on when the virus is done.
It's kind of like when you have like genes for terrible illness in your family or something, and you're like, well, might be fine. Might also be a very sad end to a middling existence. Now, Pulaski is like, I'm not going to trust the turbo lifts, so she has med teams going through all the tubes.
Yeah,
right,
and the Jerry tubes, right?
Yeah, the Jeffries tubes. Yeah, the Jerry tubes. You just had a Mandela effect where you're from a universe where they called them the Jerry tubes. And sick bay, nothing's working. And then there's an officer with like a broken bone or something.
Oh my god, that part's so funny.
The nurse is like, "What are we supposed to do?" And she's like, "Try a splint." And he's like, "Doctor, that's crazy. That's not practicing medicine." And I just think any Starfleet doctor should know that a splint is fine. They're trying to show like
that
it's
guy's
all
a douche.
They're, you know how they're always trying to show you like, oh, the kids these days don't know nothing. Like that's what it's sort of. It's like the kids these days, they don't know. You guys have to put your leg in a splint. You didn't have computers for everything.
I feel like that's like the first thing you learn.
You didn't have fucking computers for everything. You didn't used to have a hologram to fix your leg.
I guess it's like people looking at an analog clock. Like not as many younger kids can do that.
Yeah, well, you think so?
Like,
do you think kids can't read a clock? I think kids can read a clock. I mean,
not as often as. I don't know. It just feels something so simple, you know.
Yeah, like, I feel like you're going on vibes. I bet kids can read clocks still, because your Apple Watch
couldn't put a splint together.
Well, yeah, in Starfleet, where there had been a post-scarcity world where he didn't have to show up on time for shit. Like
you just transport.
Kids these days, they got an Apple Watch, and the Apple Watch face has arms and stuff. Has the regular fucking shit.
That's true. It does. You could just switch it back.
Yeah, and so Geordi, this is a good sequence. Geordi's working on a console and he gets shocked, and then Data grabs him and throws him away from the console, and Geordi's like, "What happened?" And Data says, any comment would be speculation. God damn it.
Geordi's like, "Yep, right."
What does Picard suggest they do next?
That he goes and go on the planet, and since he like has all this Iconian knowledge from his archaeology days in college, he's gonna go with Worf and Data.
yeah, and Riker's like, "No, I'm gonna lead the away team."
100 times.
Riker's like, "I'm gonna lead the away team," and Picard's like, "No, you're not. I'm Indiana Jonesing this motherfucker." He grabs his whip. He grabs his whip and his hat.
Yeah, it's also just like a permanent trope now, though, in Star Trek for the first officer to just always be like, "You're not going down there.
Well,
I'm going."
I have to at least protest once, but I know you're just going to do whatever the fuck you want to do. However, I think maybe we've seen a time. I think maybe we've seen a time where Riker says, "Hey, you shouldn't go," and Picard, to his credit, doesn't go. But I think of more times where he does, I guess.
Yeah, it's like...
Now, there's when would be the worst possible moment? Like if I was a Romulan vessel about to decloak, I would do it immediately after Picard and the away team beam away, and so the shields aren't responding on the ship because whoops, the malfunctions hath gotten to the shields, and that's where you don't want the malfunctions. Here, let me run down. This is where you don't want your malfunctions. You don't want your malfunctions to be in the shields. You don't want your malfunctions to be in your weapon system. You don't want your malfunctions to be in the warp drive. And you don't want your malfunctions to be in life support. And any other systems, even like waste management, the replicators, whatever, those can all take a shit for a while, figuratively and literally. But you don't want your weapon system. You don't want your fucking shields compromised, and that's exactly what's happening. But, oddly enough, even though the Enterprise is a sitting duck, the Romulans, they're not firing. and instead of firing, they disarmed and canceled, and then Picard mumbles, "Fate protects fools and little children," and Riker says, "Fate protects fools and little children and ships named Enterprise." I feel like that's like an old-timey saying from when the Enterprise was a boat ship, not a spaceship.
Oh, and then it's like, I don't know. It's not really anybody's fault because the ship keeps like, defaulting or canceling and redoing like all these procedures or processes.
Yeah, the Romulan shit is all kinds of fucked up. I love it.
Yeah,
they can't cloak. It's pretty funny. And then she communicates. She comes in and she's like, "We claim this planet for the Romulans." And then there's a probe heading for the Romulans, and Picard is like, Riker's like, prepare to destroy that probe right now. And then they do, and Riker tells them to keep their shields up. And Wesley's like, with the shields up, we can't beam up the away team. Yeah, you're going to have trouble beaming up the... Would you want to, like, let's say, and that's I guess there's another system where you wouldn't want to malfunction. Like, if you were the away team, would you want them to beam you up before they figure out the fucking computer virus affecting the Enterprise? Doesn't it seem like you run the risk of becoming a Cronenberg monster, Star Trek the Motion Picture style, if you don't Like, dude, right? Like,
Riker, I don't know. Riker kind of comes off as a dick to the crew in this because he's like, well, I don't know. Do we have any like rocks and sticks to throw at them?
And
the weapons lady's like, fuck, I'm trying to do my best. Like,
look, what do you want me to do here, man? We got a computer virus like nothing we've ever seen.
What?
But you got to cut Riker some slack, though, because his daddy is on the planet in jeopardy.
Stressed.
He's very stressed out. And Wesley's like, with the shields up, we can't beam up the away team. Boom. End of Act 3. Now,
I just love how like this is building to such a big, complicated issue, and it gets resolved pretty quickly to Gene Roddenberry-esque ending.
yes. Now,
but they're on the Iconian planet.
They're on the Iconian planet, and the away team, they find like an underground tech bunker of the Iconians. And they're like, what bombed the Iconians to shit? Data and Picard dig in. Now, this is great because Data and Picard are like trying to learn this. They're trying to break down the language of these buttons. They got to figure out, they're like, and Data says, I bet I can reconstruct these from, it goes to show that if these four cultures were at one point conquered by the Iconians, that the Iconians' language would make it into their language. Yeah, so Data analyzes these languages from the derivative languages, and they start to figure out what the buttons mean. And on the bridge, Troy is like, the tension is super high. She's jumpy. Riker's talking about considering evacuation just to give everybody something to do. Troy's like, the ship, the people on the ship, they need something to do. I'd have said, hey, let's have a little party and 10 forward. I would have said, let's replicate some edibles and let's replicate a couple vapes.
It's like liquids don't
replicate a
they
bong.
don't glitch in and out, It'll
right?
probably get
Yes.
it right half of the time,
Yeah, or it's going to make it too strong.
Right,
now, so Riker says, hey, let's all prepare for evacuation, but he's not really planning on evacuating. He does say that the crew is more important than possible negotiations with the Romulans, because Troy is like, we can use this as a way to open a bridge with the Romulans, but he's like, I think.
Mention though, with Picard asking Data to make like a basis for like the languages and stuff, it kind of sounded like somebody like making a prompt for a search engine for like some weird AI thing to be like, hey, use these 3 different languages to compare and construct this BS.
Yeah, that's what you would and Data is an AI, so it was a prompt.
But Data is obviously way beyond.
Oh yeah, Data's not wouldn't it be funny, like, if I was making a sci-fi show, like how Seth MacFarlane did that,
that should
Orville.
be a bit on the Orville already.
I would have an android that's an LLM that's like not actually AI, that he's just terrible, like it's just constantly giving you the wrong information and like just spewing like copyrighted material and shit.
Blogs.
Yes, it's like he's got a bunch of different accounts. Now, on the planet, Data says Picard was right. I figured out this language. And Data says this might be manual override. And you want to be sure. I think you want to be 100% on if it's the manual override for the fucking exploding the shit. Now Data says it does open a gateway to other locations. That's when they realize that this is how the Iconians traveled. Yeah. There's these doorways. There's this one doorway, and it cycles through these locations. And one of the locations,
was the Enterprise.
And right before the Enterprise, one of the locations is the Romulan ship.
Oh,
so like you see
that's right.
And they like see like all these crazy like surreal landscapes, and then the Romulan ship, and it holds each one for a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And basically Picard concludes
like cycling through, huh?
Yeah, and Picard concludes this is what Varley was trying to keep from the Romulans. Clearly, this is like
power is insane.
It would be an insane power to have. Data does say, he doesn't think this is a war room, and he doesn't think the probe was hostile. He says we got him wrong, and Worf is like, but the Iconians were conquerors. And then this is the good point. It said like that's the people who were victorious who killed the Iconians, they called the Iconians conquerors.
Yeah, it's like Victor writes the history, right?
Yes, to the victor goes both the spoils and the narrative. I should put that on a t-shirt. Now, Data finally says, I got access to the computer. What happens immediately after he gets access to the computer, Al?
I don't remember. I'm still
He gets
watching.
zapped.
Oh, that's right. And then like he gets like, I don't know, I guess kind of knocked out, or he kind of, what is it called? He
Data
like integrates with the Data, the Iconian Data.
He is damaged. That's what I put in my notes. Like, so Data gets his ass zapped, and then it cuts to commercial. And just imagine you're watching this on a Saturday afternoon in syndication, and you're just spun up so tight about what's going on with these Iconians, and is the Enterprise going to succumb to this computer virus? And then Data gets zapped, and it's like, and his eyes are spinning around like they got like a.
He's like,
it'd be funny if they would have done it like a slot machine, like in a cartoon, like his eyes spin and then they like go bing bing, and they're like X's or something. The Iconian software, we find out at the beginning of Act 5, is overwriting Data's program,
and he's like handicapping him, like blinding him, paralysis.
They're taking him off the board.
It's fucked.
And then so you start to realize, this was all like the Iconians' defenses, right?
Yeah, it's reminiscent of that other episode of the old scientists where they go to that one, some planet, but like all these defenses are trying to blow up these ships, and they find this video recording of this lady, and she's like, "Hey, this planet's like abandoned. Don't come here. We're quarantined."
And there's also because there was an ancient weapon that was on it that they were trying to sell. It was like an ancient weapon's like, I'm an ancient weapon for sale.
Oh, that's right. And it was like, we destroy everything. And it turned out it destroyed the old planet that it was stored on.
Yeah, because it malfunctioned. Which is exactly what's going to happen to us. Actually, it's probably not. It's probably not going to happen because I just saw a news story that said that over half of the AI data centers that were in construction are either not being constructed or construction is halted. So like half. That's like so fucking many. Now, Data, they want to. So Picard tells Worf to take Data through the portal to the Enterprise. Okay, and then Picard's gonna wait a cycle, and then he's gonna come through behind them.
Yeah,
and
it's really clever how he forms it together. He's like, Worf, how much time do I have? And Worf's like, 3 minutes or 4 minutes. And he's like, okay, great. You take Data, you go through the Enterprise right now. I'm gonna hang back here and blow up the ship from the inside. So I guess it's like he's going to shoot off the rockets, but then he's going to close the door with a system override.
Yes, and then the backwash. Yes, that's
like,
where we get the backwash. I think he means backdraft.
Exhaust, right?
No, he means backdraft.
Backdraft.
The backdraft is a firefighting term where the air pressure changes and it sucks the fire in. And yes, funny. But he says backwash. It's fucking great.
Yeah, I was like, huh?
So basically, and they're gonna destroy the tricorder that's got all the Iconian discoveries. Now,
yeah, that too.
Data, he's asking Data how to destroy the probes, and that's when Data says the power source detonate it. If the doors are closed, the backwash from the probe will destroy. I can't get over that. Now, Picard walks Data through the controls to override the doors and launch the probes, and he's gonna just go through a gate to some random ass place. Basically, he's not gonna wait around. He's like, you're just gonna have to find me. He says, I'm going to go through the gate. Like, he might go to that space beach or whatever on the other side of the gate. He doesn't know fucking where he's going to end up. And Worf takes Data through the gate to the bridge of the Enterprise, and they just appear. And Riker's like, what the fuck happened? Where's the captain? And they take Data down to engineering, and the HD remastered Romulan ship looks awesome. I just want to say before we get too far away from it. So Geordi's readings of Data are totally fucked up, and then he dies. Like,
yeah, it's like really depressing.
I don't remember
like,
if they.
I couldn't do anything, and he like smacks himself on the head, like fuck.
I don't remember if they do the thing where they like put their hand over Data's eyes to close his eyes, like in an action movie when the person dies, but they might as well have.
Yeah.
He's not.
No, his eyes are already closed.
He's not. Like when I saw that, when they're like, he's gone, it's like, no, he's not. He's right there. He's a robot. Turn him back on.
I don't
like flip the switch.
I know that really didn't
turn him off and turn him back on again. What
I think
the fuck?
they were trying to freak everybody out, right? But it just like didn't quite hit. It's like we've seen Data like drop 40 feet into a cave. Like I think he's all right.
We've seen all kinds of shit happen to Data. This alien robot syphilis is not going to take him out. He's going to get a shot of robopenicillin. Now Picard is going to launch the probes, and he's watching the portals as they cycle. And at this point, Data sits bolt upright, and he says that he figured out how to clear the Iconian software from his system. There was like an incompatible program. So the solution was to do a total wipe of affected memory. And so turn it off and fucking turn it back on again.
Yeah, they have to shut it down, delete the previous version histories, and just go to the one prior to the Iconium program.
They basically, they just need to reboot need to go into their time machine backup on the Mac. So they're going to shut down, turn off the Enterprise, turn it back on, reload everything, much like in Jurassic Park. when they're going to turn off the systems and turn everything back on gradually. But then they're like, if we shut down, the Romulans can fucking shoot us. And Geordi says, look, whether it's our engines blowing up the fucking ship or the Romulan phasers, we're just as dead.
Yeah.
And Data is like, can I help? And Picard just begins mashing buttons in the Iconian control room, right? And then this is what's fucked up. Picard is just about to get beamed up. Like, they're just about to beam him up, and he goes through the gate and ends up on the Romulan ship. Like,
did they have tricorder like communication?
Yeah, they were talking to each other.
We are comm badge communication. That's weird. I wonder why he wasn't like, "Hey, I'm blowing it up right now." But yeah, he's not gonna wait. But it is a really funny sequence because he goes right onto the Romulan ship, and it's blowing up, and everybody's like freaking out. And O'Brien's like, "God damn it, I lost him." And then Riker's like, "Where is he?" And O'Brien's like, he's on the Romulan ship."
What? Oh, he's on the what then, ain't he? He where? He's on that Romulan ship, he is? Oh,
and
my
the Romulan
God.
captain's like, "Yes, I have the upper hand. You did this.
Yeah.
You sabotaged my ship."
Yeah, I
Picard's
sabotaged
like,
your
"I have
ship,
no
and then
clue
I
what's
fucking
going
came
on."
over here to die on it. Like,
Yeah, right.
And then just
Oh,
as...
she rigged it to auto-destruct, too.
Right? And then Picard gets beamed back, and it seems like the Enterprise reboot was way too easy. They did it, like, off-camera, basically. They just turned it off and turned it back on again. It took, like, a second. And then and
the Romulans are like, "What's happening?"
I think
around.
they end up telling the Romulans how to get the shit out. They always do that. It's just like with the Romulans with the big tribbles. They eventually tell them what's going on.
Well, and I feel like Picard didn't want to at first, and Riker's like, "No, we should probably tell him."
Yeah. Well, Picard was just over there, and he became very racist against Romulans in that 2 minutes on their bridge. And then
they're about to fucking shoot me.
The episode ends with Picard saying, "Well, number one, I can see why you keep all the away missions to yourself. That's where the excitement is. So what was happening around here? Same old routine, I suppose?" And they laugh, and Riker's like, "No, it fucking sucked, dude. It was actually bad news dealing with the Romulans." But it's funny because the Enterprise has all these high profile encounters, right? Like this would be like this encounter would basically go in Federation history books
For sure.
as like an interaction between the Romulans and because usually there would be a war that happens as a result of being in the neutral zone. If anything, this episode shows us that this neutral zone business is a bit more malleable than we've been led to believe. It used to be like,
it's not
if you were before, it would be like if a Romulan ship detected Federation presence in the neutral zone, the treaty is broken, all hell breaks loose. It's Galactic War 4, but they're just like, well, we're going to find out if you destroyed our ship or not. And the Romulans are just like, well, fucking fine. We're going to have some computer problems too. And we're going through our own little thing over here. That's the other thing. The Romulans are having their own episode of Romulan Star Trek, The Next Generation over on their ship. Like, because, Geordi wouldn't be the only one they wouldn't be the only ones to figure shit out. So what did you think of Contagion, Al?
This was a solid episode. I like how there's a lot of mystery around it,
It is a lot of mystery for sure.
Like, it's a lot of dread, too, because it's like, oh, the ship could blow up tomorrow, or it can today. We don't know.
Or it might be fine forever. And that's clearly not the case. He says it might be fine forever. It's like shit is fucking up pretty hard. I think that it's going to be a bit more of an accelerated cycle than Geordi was. I think he was trying to kind of soft sell it. He's like, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it the fuck out.
I just, I don't know. It's just funny. And it's like such a simple solution considering that, like what you were mentioning before, how it's like, it's the future. Like,
we've known
people
about
have been sending viruses through emails and links and like weird logs and
so
like text files. It's like that's the first thing.
So yes, we're correct that the computer virus thing should have been popped up sooner in their brains, but also turn it off and turn it back on again. That's like a joke.
Yeah.
Like that's been like you but maybe
a ship.
The
history part, it's like the fact that if they turned it back on and it still had the Iconian logs
or nothing, it just didn't turn back on. Like that's the other risk.
That would have been cool.
Oh yeah, they should have showed us
episode.
the turning off and turning it back on again. I think the fact that we didn't see that.
And then, I don't know. I mean, I guess you're right that like Geordi is the chief engineer and it's all on him. It just felt like, I guess Picard kind of helped because he was like really into the archaeologist stuff. I feel like he was just as, not useless, but just as into the whole Iconian stuff as the captain of the Yamato.
Yeah, him and Varley are the same.
The Yamato crew and the Enterprise crew are like, hey, we're going to die. And the captains are like, well, I don't know. I mean, I really like this Iconian stuff.
and so they had to destroy all the Iconian shit because it's even too powerful for the Federation to have.
Well,
like that was the decision that they made. They could have had the tricorder with the teleportation technology in it,
Well, and that's what makes, Picard noble too and a good captain. And like even Worf was like, but Captain, we have everything on there. Like literally our entire mission.
We could just destroy the fuck out of the Romulans, sir. Don't you understand?
Picard's like, no. We gotta let go of it.
Worf we could stop this war before it even begins. I'm Worf.
I just realized name for that trope,
I just realized that Worf's name
too powerful.
Yeah, weapon too powerful for anybody to control.
Yeah, good guy blows up.
I think there is. It's sort of like
it happens in Harry Potter.
Transphobe.
When he breaks the Elder Wand.
Yeah. Transphobe stuff.
But then what else? I'm trying to think what else happens.
Well, the
Ring, Lord of the Rings.
Yes, the one. Exactly. So yeah, But I also just realized that Worf's name kind of sounds like war. And that's because he's a warlike guy. Worf is also. I just love how racist he is. Against because Worf, you're a different race, man. Everybody's racist against you the same way you're racist against the Romulans, dude. Like, don't you get it? Don't you get tired of being a cartoon, Worf?
It's nice though how like comfortable he is expressing his feelings around everybody on the ship. I mean,
well, he thinks his racism is
if it was like really shy and to himself all the time.
Yeah,
like in season 1, I guess.
It's important to put your because he thinks his racism is righteous and correct, so that's why he's not worried about it. He's like, well, yeah, everybody thinks the Romulans are pieces of shit. He wanted to just open fire on the Romulans immediately before even knowing that they did anything. And Geordi's like, no, cooler heads prevailed. There's no. Come on now. There's no evidence that it was them. What if it was the backwash? From their own explosion. I do like the idea of a computer virus as defense system for a planet. I think that's very neat. Like the idea that if any ships get close enough, this probe goes up and fucking disables their computers with a virus to stop them, I guess, from getting to the Iconian technology. That said, it doesn't really stop anybody. The Enterprise is able to beam down, but that's only because they weren't probed, right?
Or it's like just having the 2020 hindsight of having the Yamato explode already,
Yeah, and it kind of gave them an idea of what they need to look out for that's going to kick off in the Enterprise. I like when Geordi's able to get in there. Kudos to Geordi's stunt double for doing that role.
Had to do a lot.
That role, because I'm pretty sure it was stunt double when he was getting thrown around in the turbo lift as well.
Yeah, some of the shots.
And then when the door opens, he rolls
really
out.
Really simple ones, when he like sticks against the wall immediately. It's like, oh, Geordi could do that. He could just walk over and put his back.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like flipping and flopping in the turbo lift, that's crazy.
Well, and those turbo lifts are crazy fast too. Like they're turbo. It's not a regular lift; it's a turbo lift. And turbo, that's faster.
It's such a great sequence because it's like he uses a comm patch, it's broken. He tries the intercom, it's broken. He's like pushing people out of the way. Thank God the turbo lift wasn't broken.
Don't, Captain, don't let it probe us. Don't let it probe us. Because it would accelerate the virus. See, they've only got a little bit of the virus.
They did.
Because they got it from the Yamato logs. So that's Contagion. How many, one out of, let's see here.
Stargates?
Yeah, Stargates. So let's do 1 out of 5 Stargates. What's your rating for Contagion?
This was solid 3.5. This wasn't like, whoa, this is amazing, like 4 or 5 level, but it's getting there. I think it needed just a little push, a little stakes. Maybe a red shirt could have died. I don't know.
They definitely could. Well, the whole ship of red shirts died, bro. There was a red shirt fucking crew. In fact, I believe Captain Barley's uniform was red.
Oh, and they do mention the 18 that died before.
Yeah, so plenty of people died, but yeah, you want to see death on camera. You're
on
a big
the Enterprise.
Yeah.
That's like someone got shook up in the turbo lift, like a soda can. Like,
yeah. So
I figured this out.
I think I'm going to give it a 3.5 as well. I think I wanted to give it a 4, but it was it just didn't have that last little kick of like existential examination. Like they did a good job, but it ended up being a little bit less impactful, I guess.
I think it was just so simple too, how it was like, oh, let's just turn it off and just like revise and go back to the previous version history.
It did. Yeah,
like,
the fact that
okay.
Like, wouldn't that be the first thing you do when you have a computer virus?
It's just like how we laugh, when all these situations get so crazy in Star Trek, and then they're like, oh, wait, don't you have your previous copy in the transporter? We'll just use that and rewrite your DNA.
Imagine how many flash drives these guys have.
Right.
So 3.5 from both of us. We're on the same page. I also felt like it didn't really do enough to kind of explore the Romulans, and I was bummed out that they made the neutral zone seem so malleable and like it's not really a big deal that they're there now.
It's like they're on the fence a lot here with a lot of these episodes where it's like they want to appeal to the older crowd by having like start, beginning, end, but then it's like they have all this chance to expand and build all the lore, and they're just I feel like they're just trying to sprinkle some things in past the
we'll get more Romulans
and the CEOs and stuff.
Yeah,
it'll get there.
We'll get more from the Romulans. So that's our discussion of season 2 episode 11 of Star Trek The Next Generation, Contagion, which brings us to our final segment of the week.
Captain, Adam and Al are recommending things. I repeat, Adam and Al are recommending things.
What do you got for our recommendation this week, Al, with your NASA hat on because of the Artemis? You're celebrating the Artemis, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I am.
The Artemis, there's the mission around the moon right now that's happening.
Oh, dope.
So there's a mission around the moon.
Like this hat.
There's a mission around the moon happening right now, the Artemis 2. It's a huge fucking deal. They're live streaming like the whole thing.
Oh shit.
But there was a big to-do on the live stream because their computer on the Artemis was running 2 instances of Outlook for some reason.
Huh.
And they couldn't figure out why. And like that's the kind of shit that comes up on space missions. They're like, that's 2 instances of Outlook running. What the fuck? Because it's like, is this system? Yeah, they communicating with NASA, going back and forth, trying to figure out why and how to close that instance of Outlook. It's like you just press the little X.
Do you see that X in the corner? Okay, no.
You need to Control Alt Delete will bring up your task manager. You got to go into the task manager and just see if you see like the most recent instance of Outlook is the one you want to get rid of.
Dude, they just got to shut it down and then go back to the previous version.
Just go back to the previous version of your Microsoft Outlook suite.
Dang, yeah, I guess they are kind of. It does relate, huh?
Yeah.
I
So
don't
what?
know. I'm just recommending. Let's see. I don't know. I just been kept watching Abbott and new SVU. I'm waiting after
We just watched-
420 to
Did you watch
finish the pit.
Oh yeah. Did you watch
'Cause
the? Did you watch
go
the? Did you watch the April Fool's Day Abbott?
No, actually, not that.
It's
not
pretty
yet.
good. We
Yeah.
watched it. It's pretty funny. So you're recommending your continued love of Abbott Elementary, and you've
And
been enjoying the
SVU.
Pit.
Oh yeah, I've just been like, I'm like you in that aspect with specific shows of like, I'm just gonna wait till it all comes out. It's not like
Yeah.
there's spoilers of the
And then you-
Pit
and then-
online.
Yeah,
I
and then
mean,
you bingy it, and then you
yeah,
bingy.
because it's like you just want to keep going because it's just a whole single day thing, and I can't. It's 2026. Like I can't waiting a week. Oh, Invincible too. New Invincible.
I haven't started it yet. Also, new
Oh,
Daredevil,
it gets
Born
heavy,
Again,
dude. And
Haven't-
then it's like, it's only beginning. You know, like
Yeah.
shit still has to come.
And you've read
down
the
line.
comics, so you
Yeah,
know what's
they're
up.
Great.
Well, good.
But
So
anyways.
Invincible, I haven't checked that out yet. The new season. There is a new season of Born Again that I haven't started yet, but I'm
Born
excited
Again,
too
yeah.
because they got that Jessica Jones in it.
Yes.
And so what I'm recommending is, so I was going to recommend something. Let me see. So I was going to recommend Have Fun, Good Luck, Don't Die, which is a
Oh, really? Was
movie
that good?
starring Sam Rockwell. It's very fucking funny. It's about a guy who's trying to stop an AI from destroying the world. It's so prescient, and there's no AI used in the making of it, but the AI slop that they show looks so
Oh,
much like the
God.
AI slop we have now. It's very good. But I'm going to supersede that. What you should watch, basically I'm going to recommend two things. On video right now, watch Have Fun, Good Luck, Don't Die. In the theaters, we went to our first movie in a theater in a long time to see Project Hail Mary,
Dude.
which is a book that Brittany and I have read or listened to that we really liked. And it's a really good adaptation of the book. They leave some things out. They change some stuff for reasons I don't understand why, but yeah, they nailed it. It was a really good job. Very good. Ryan Gosling's great. They do a practical puppet creature effect for the alien. It's not
okay.
all CG. It's really good. It's it's the those guys that the brothers that made like 21 Jump Street and shit.
Oh, and didn't they?
They
do
did
the
Lord
Lego
and
movie?
Miller. Yeah, they did the Lego movie, Lord and Miller.
That's what I was gonna ask you, Adam, about the effects, because one of my friends that they saw it, they said it's already like a contender for VFX Oscar wise.
Oh yeah,
damn, really? Already?
It's a weird time for it to come out for that because the nominations
course.
close in like October or something. But yeah, that'll definitely be up there for best visual
Okay,
effects.
word.
It's really fucking good, and all
How's
the
Ryan
space stuff is
Gosling?
really good. He's fantastic. He's
Okay.
so likable and good. It was kind of weird though because we listened to it on audiobook, right? And the guy who plays who reads it, he sounds just like this radio broadcaster and podcaster that I listened to a little bit named Tom Sharpling from Best Show. And so then when it was Ryan Gosling, it was weird because I had this totally different view. But yeah, he's great in it. The supporting cast is all great. They cut the stuff that they needed to cut, and they did change a couple things that I was like, why the fuck do that? But it's great. So check out Have Fun, Good Luck, Don't Die. Check
Okay.
out Project Hail Mary. Check out the new season of Invincible. Watch Abbott
Hey.
Elementary. Even though they're at work, it's still good to watch. And The Pit. Watch The Pit. I hear it's adult ER. It's like ER after dark.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. Come on back next week when we are going to be discussing a very funny episode of Star Trek
gosh.
The Next Generation, The Royale. So thanks so much for listening. Like, subscribe, do all the stuff in the bumper, and you'll
Thank
hear
you
us next
guys.
week.
Appreciate it.
Bye. Trek in the Valley is brought to you by Adam Ordall Quinnell and Al Hirt. The theme was produced by Al. The episodes are engineered by Adam. You can email the podcast at trekinthevalley@gmail.com, or you can search for us on Bluesky and Facebook as Trek in the Valley and follow us over there. Please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, whatever you do on your podcast apps. It really helps us out. And never forget, always explore strange new fucking worlds.